Hello and welcome to the InNews series of Drishti IAS. I am Ritu and today's session is about Nepal plane crash. So in the year 2022 also we had witnessed a tragic Nepal plane crash, and this time also we are witnessing a tragic Nepal plane crash on couple of days ago. And this is a very unfortunate news for the Nepal and for the whole humanity, that why there is a frequent plane crashes are happening, especially in Nepal. And this session is important for your GS3 perspective. So moving towards the points of discussion part. First of all, we are going to discuss the news. Then we'll have a discussion about the crash. After that, we are going to discuss that what are the causes for the crash, and then we are going to discuss that why there is a frequent plane crash in Nepal, and after that we are going to discuss practice question for prelims. Before that, you have to like, share and subscribe to the Drishti IAS channel. Moving towards the news part. So what we have seen, that there was a plane crash in Kathmandu airport at Nepal, and what we have seen that around 18 people have died and only one is alive. The pilot is alive and all remaining 18 people have died in this plane crash. And this news we are going to cover up in today's session, that why it is becoming frequent in Nepal and what we should do to avoid such kind of the plane crashes. And this is not just the case of Nepal, other countries are also witnessing, but Nepal is particularly witnessing a lot of plane crash. Moving to the next one. Next one is about the crash. So how it happened. So what was happening, that the plane was taking off, and shortly after takeoff from runway 2, the aircraft veered off to the right and crashed on the east side of the runway. So when this and where this particular incident took place, so when the plane already took off and it is just above the runway, and in that situation we have seen the plane crash. So it was not on a high altitude. According to eyewitness account, the plane flipped after the wingtip hit the ground during the takeoff, and witnesses said that the aircraft immediately caught fire and plunged deep into the gorge to the east of the runway. So after flipping down, we have seen that the aircraft also got fire and so many people were burnt into that kind of fire. And multiple videos doing rounds on social media, what it shows that, so it shows that aircraft flying slightly above the runway before banking sharply to one side and crashing. So all these incidents, what it is showing us, so it is showing us that the plane was not on a high altitude and the incident took place when it already took off and it was just above the runway. So this was not a very, what you can say, altitude was high, but there was and there can be issues in the runways, there can be issues on the, what you can say, climate, there can be issues on the physical ability and physical structure of the airport. We'll try to figure out that what are the causes we have. So here we'll come to the what caused the crash. The first cause, so the definite cause has not come. So the investigation is still going on. So what caused the crash? So till now we have some potential causes which we had tried to figure out. The first is climb failure. So the plane was unable to successfully gain altitude after takeoff. So as I have already told you that after just few minutes of takeoff, this incident took place. So there can be and there are chances that the plane was unable to climb again, and because of that there was a climb failure. Again we have this engine failure. There can be a chances of engine failure, and this can happen due to number of reasons, including sharp bank could have been caused to by one engine failing, stalling. So there can be chances that maybe one of the engines have failed. Faulty pre-flight planning. So whenever the flight is prepared, so there are chances that there can be faulty pre-flight planning and there was error by the pilot. So we are not telling the definite reasons, but we are telling that these are the potential reasons which can lead to such kind of the tragic incidences. And also weather conditions, but at that time the weather was not bad of Kathmandu. this is the monsoon season. We do agree that this is a monsoon season, but at that time there was no rain. So maybe there can be the faulty pre-flight planning, engine failure and climb failure. So these are the potential causes we have. Now we come to the why does Nepal have such poor aviation safety record? So how we got to know that we have such poor safety records, especially in Nepal? So if we'll compare this situation from 1946 to 2024, there can be multiples, around 68 aviation accident happened, and mostly in last decades, and around 900 people lost their lives in such kind of the aviation accidents. And in Nepal, the airstrips are often precariously placed on plateau and cut mountains. So in Kathmandu region, and especially in the capital city, what we have seen that it is surrounded by the mountains, and that made aeroplane and what you can say the whole airport in a very vulnerable situation. So there can be also reason that location and climate. In mountains there is a sudden change in climate also, weather also. So there are chances that this can also lead to the huge accidents. And also the Kathmandu airport too is challenging for pilots, because the runway was long there, and but still that runway is not enough to have a smooth takeoff, and because of that also there can be incidents. So if we'll talk about that, what is the size of runway of the Nepal? So it is 3,350 meter runway. It is comparatively longer from other airports, but due to mountainous regions, due to other things, this is too small for the mountainous region and for the Kathmandu airport for the runway. And we have other reasons also, that due to lack of equipment, lack of modernization, lack of technology, these kind of incidents are happening, because Nepal airport system and all aviation system is not upgraded, and because of that also the European Union, especially the many European country, has banned the Nepal airlines to land into their area because of the safety concerns. So it has been already banned in 2013. So Nepal should have already taken lessons that because of the safety concerns they cannot fly to the Europe and many other countries. So this made that the whole aviation situation of Nepal is very much vulnerable, and it needs upgradation. The pilots who are operating through Kathmandu and any mountainous region airports, they must be trained, and separate training should be given to them. In Europe and in other countries, wherever there are complex situation for flying, so there are separate pilots for each kind of regions. So we need separate pilots who are trained for that particular kind of situation to operate into any kind of circumstances. So there must be a separate training for those kind of the pilots, though different kind of license must be provided to them. And overall it needs upgradation and also the policy changes. There can be a nexus between the aviation sector and the government, and government should keenly invest into the aviation sector of the country, so that we'll have a less chances of accident. So because of the human made instances, the Nepal is facing huge amount of the accidents in which innocent peoples are losing their lives, and this can happen to any country. So we must take lessons from Nepal, that we must upgrade our aviation system, we must check all the pre-flight necessities, and also the pilots must be trained according to the weather, according to the terrains. Now we'll come to the question part. So in India, what we have seen that UDAN scheme has been launched for the aviation sector, and it should reach to every small cities. So here the question is related about the UDAN scheme, and which of the following statements about the UDAN Ude Desh Ka Aam Nagrik scheme is correct? Here they are asking the correct. The scheme was launched under the National Civil Aviation Policy 2016. The scheme caps airfares at rupees 2,500 per hour of flight for 100% of the seats. Viability gap funding and regional connectivity fund are financial mechanism used under the scheme. Only statement 1 is correct. Only statement 1 and 2 are correct. Only statement 1 and 3 are correct. All 3 statements are correct. So you have to answer this into the comment section. So I hope you like this session. If you have any queries related to this session, kindly ask in the comment section. And do read all the schemes which are related to aviation sectors and make a mains question related to it, that what can be the safety concerns related to aviation sector of the India. So this can be your mains answer. I hope you like this session and have a nice day. Keep preparing for your examination. Thank you.
For more informative content, like, share and subscribe, and do not forget to press the bell icon to get the notifications.